Okay, this is not a reaction. This is personal story time. And so it's just going to be a still picture and me talking. This is not something to do with the Skyebrows community. It's something to do with my in real life, a problem. It would be egotistical to call it my problem because there are people. I'm just sort of someone who's being slightly affected by this problem. There are people who are affected by it so much more than me, 100 times more, 1,000 times more. So it's kind of egotistical to call it my problem because it's not my problem. It's other people's problem that is affecting me. But no, this has nothing to do with the Skyebrows community. The person that is the main source of all of this is someone that I knew before I had ever heard of Skyebrows. And the main incident happened a certain number of months ago. I'm not going to say how many months because there was a police report. I don't want to get into anything that could be doxable. But anyways, and before people say it, I'm going to say that yes, all the proper authorities are involved. The police, clergy, other authorities, and I am, still monitoring the situation and ready to get even more authorities involved at a moment's notice if it is needed. And I am getting the proper amount of support in my life, emotional support from in real life friends that I've had for years, where I lean on them about this problem and get emotional support. But I thought I would make a video about this because it explains some of my behavior in the Skyebrows community. Anyways, I really like being involved in the Skyebrows community, and as you might know by looking at my channel, probably like 90% or more of it has become Skyebrows related. So my channel's become very Skyebrows related, and I do a lot of reacts. And there are people that have said to me, "Hey, Penny, we want you to watch your health. Maybe you're working a little bit too hard on this. Maybe you should slow down." And I'm like, well, but I really like doing it. I really like doing it. And I do like doing it. That is the truth. I like doing it. I probably should slow down, but the Skyebrows community is a lot of fun, and it has become a form of escapism, and that's one of the reasons why I've thrown myself into it so vigorously. Now, I think if this in real life problem had not been going on, I probably would have thrown myself into the Skyebrows community with a lot of enthusiasm. It just wouldn't have been as much. So this explains some of my behavior. It doesn't explain all of my behavior. A lot of my behavior is coming from pure enthusiasm, but some of it is coming from escapism. And as far as escapism goes, I think throwing myself into the Skyebrows community and doing an absolutely huge number of reacts, you can look at my list of stuff I've reacted to. Hundreds of Skyebrows related videos now that I've reacted to, and I've really thrown myself in quite vigorously, and I would have done it anyways. But not quite as vigorously. Let me tell you about the in real life problem. And once again, I want to emphasize that the person I'm talking about is not in the Skyebrows community, and it's nothing to do with the Skyebrows community. And yes, all the proper authorities have been involved and will continue to be involved. Okay, so there is a certain type of incident that you cannot mention on YouTube. You can't mention the word, and you can't describe what it is. And I think that's rightly so, because getting too much to the description of it, or mentioning the word of it, it does cause contagion. This is a contagious thing. So I think that YouTube is at least somewhat right in censoring mentions of this certain type of incident to the extent it does. It probably shouldn't do it quite as much of it as it does, but it is right for it to censor it. So I'm not going to actually say what the incident is, but you can probably guess as I go along exactly what the incident is. So there's a certain type of thing that people sometimes want to do to themselves. And there's a person in real life, and this person is not close to me. That's why I said it's kind of egotistical to think of this as my problem, because it's not my problem. This is a problem of this person and of the people who actually are close to this person. And so this person made an attempt, and it was a certain number of months ago. And even though I am not close to this person, it did affect me. I had to be involved. I'm not going to go into how or why, because then we would get into things that could show up, could allow people to find the police report. But I was much more closely involved than a person at my level of social distance from this other person would be. And it was really hard. And I feel kind of egotistical whining about how hard it was, because it was a lot more hard for this person that attempted it. And it was a lot more hard for the people who are actually close to this person who attempted it. And there are people who are close to me who are close to this person who attempted it. And then there was a second attempt that people who were close to this person lied to me about and covered up and did not tell me about until recently. And that affected me. And I feel kind of bad whining about this, because the person who made this attempt, they are suffering 100 times, 1,000 times more than I am suffering. But because of certain circumstances, I keep dealing with this problem over and over again, even though I'm at a sufficient distance from the attempter that I should not be dealing with this, but I am dealing with it. And there keep being consequences from that and from some other related behavior. And nearly every week there's something I have to deal with. Not another attempt, but various consequences flowing from the first attempt, the second attempt, or certain other things that are being done. And nearly every week. And I would rather throw myself into Skyebrows video reacts rather than deal with that and think about that. And yes, I am dealing about it and I am thinking about it. But it is hard on me, and it reminds me of my childhood, because my father, not my stepfather, my biological father, my father was like that. And I don't know how many times he attempted, and I never caught him. I never caught him attempting. Others did, though. Others did. But he would say that he wanted to. And he would say it to me when I was quite young even. And I remember the first time that I talked him out of it, and I thought I was such a hero. I thought I was such a hero. I thought I'd saved my father. I was so proud of myself. And I was like, I saved him. He's going to be alive. He's going to be fine from now on. I saved him. And I was quite young, and I was wrong, because this was a problem that kept coming back. It kept coming back over and over again. And I got worn out by it over years. And I didn't want to listen to him talk about it. And it was an inappropriate conversation to have when he started having these types of conversations. I was quite young. You don't talk about that type of wanting to attempt with a child. And so because of this history of myself and my father, and getting tired over the years of never being able to fix him, this affects me more than maybe it would someone else who had this much distance from the attempter. So it does affect me. But I think as far as things to throw yourself into with escapism, throwing myself into the Skyebrows community is not all that unhealthy. And I think it's something I would have done anyways, just not quite as hard. Not quite as hard. There's a lot of things that I could have chosen as distractions that would have been bad that I have not chosen. And I think this is a good thing that I chose. So that explains a little bit of my behavior, not all of it, some of my behavior. And I felt like I needed to put this out there and say it. I've mentioned it in at least one React. I mentioned it. I didn't go into anywhere near this much detail, but I did mention it. And I've mentioned it a few other places, like the chats of live streams. I haven't mentioned it very much, though. So this is a big, detailed video, although there's, almost no details in it because I can't get into the doxing territory. You can't get into there. Okay, so that's what I had to say. And yeah, I've got the in real life emotional support, and I've got the authorities involved. It's all good, and I'm doing okay.